Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Andrew, and what you're looking at here is an Olight OSIGHT that they sent out to the channel for review. This happens to be a 3 MOA model. Very, very cool product. I had heard some mixed reviews on this product. I'm really glad to have gotten one in hand to try it out for myself and see what I think of this combination. And I tried my best in this review to not do what everyone else did and put it on a pistol. I actually tried a different application, and you're going to see that in a second. First, let's talk about what comes in the box. Olight always packages things really well. They're very smart the way that they package things. There's lots of extras all the time, and there's QR codes if you want to learn more about that. But I just want to say great job to Olight. They always do well, and the OSIGHT is no different. Everything that I needed was in here, including a hefty manual. The manual, if you've never used like a red dot before, or maybe you've never used one of the Olight products before, the manual is going to have everything that you can imagine. They're just doing really, really outstandingly well with explaining things about their products. I wish everyone could do it the way that they do, because any questions you have about the product, what the features are, how it works, how it should work, and the actual technical specs that you're going to see on this chart, and it just covers everything there. You can see what's inside the box as well. You have your optic, you have your tool, there's some desiccant, there's screws, lots and lots of screws, which I'll show you. You do have your charging cover, a USB cable, a screw box, a pouch, and a cleaning cloth, amongst other things like this manual. Well done on the manual. Let's talk about the product. Of course, there's a pouch. Got some screws. The product and a tool. So I'll get to these other parts in a moment. Here is the product. Now I have added, and it's not going to come with this, a Picatinny bottom to this. Don't worry about that. These are affordable, they're cheap, they're easy to find on Amazon or eBay. I added one from Zerotech. They have sent out stuff to the channel before, and I really appreciate these bases. They're just really strong, well made, with some spring tension. So if you're looking for one and you want to go on a Picatinny mount and maybe throw this on a rifle instead, go ahead and check out Zerotech. They also make some cool accessories. But getting to the product itself, here is the OSIGHT. You can see you have your windage, elevation. Inside, that's where the emitter is, and I'm going to turn that on, and you might even be able to see inside, like that right there, that little red casting. On the side, when it's on, there's actually a green glowing dot there when you press one of the function buttons, up and down. And if you want to turn it off, all you have to do is press both. I'm going to try to get this in frame, so right about there. Now you can see it. You press both, it will turn off. If you press one of the function buttons, it turns on. It's a generous size window. You can see there, generous size window, a little taller than some of the other sights I've used in the past. It does have a big protector hood on top. And that's that 3 MOA size dot, which is generally my preference so far when it comes to red dots. It gets very, very bright and can go down incredibly dull, where I can use it basically at nighttime without my flashlight. This is a sensor on the front. Make sure to keep that clean and clear. And there's the body. It's screwed in right here into the base. And whether I was mounting this on a rifle or on some sort of pistol application, it would be no trouble at all for me to use the included charger. When I throw that charger on there, it gives me some illumination. This is super cool. Tells you where it's at for the charge. You notice that I don't have it plugged in right now. I don't need to, because this is full charge and my optic is actually full charge, which is what it told me just a second ago. I can press the side button, which is a function button on the side. And it tells me that I'm at full charge. Inside, that's actually where it's making contact. If you can see right there, in fact, I'm going to grab an Olight to light it up inside of there. This is the Olight IT5 EOS I'm using to light up inside there. That's where it's going to make contact with your sight. And then the big block on the bottom is where the actual power is stored. That's the mechanism itself, the power source. Something I really do like is this tool, this OSIGHT Olight tool that it came with. If you need to put a piece of shot cord through the middle, you could, and keep it on a bag. It has a flathead or a standard for adjusting the sight, and that will get your elevation and windage both. And then also there's a Torx or star bit for adjusting the top and cranking down on it. And it's a pretty high quality tool actually. It seems like it's got some strength to it, and I can get some torque on the wider portion here and really turn into something. So it comes with everything that you need, including hardware. This is phenomenal. Great job to Olight for including this in. I've had so many lights in the past that didn't have proper hardware. This is labeled. It's not just in baggies, and it's in these, kind of a higher quality container. As I said before, they always do packaging well. They're labeled in the little boxes, and you could break these off and separate them, I'm pretty sure. Let's see, yep, like that. So if you just knew you needed one particular box for that session that day, and you knew what the actual type of screw it was, these have designations on there, and then you can also keep them all together and not lose them. I just think there's so much ingenuity in the things that OSIGHT and Olight have been doing, or Olight with their OSIGHT have been doing. All of this together just reminds me that this company is doing well because they think outside of the box, and they also give you the things you need to make it function. So many companies aren't providing you with extra hardware for the various platforms, and because there's not extreme uniformity when it comes to red dot sights in general or footprints in general, it's just nice to have different set depths and thread pitches with your package, so you can pretty much just guarantee that when you get your package, you can throw it on whatever pistol you're running and whatever base plate you have that is actually of the footprint. Now, I understand that most of you, when you see a 30mm cantilever mount like this with a piggyback, you're thinking more an AR application, which absolutely makes sense. I just don't think it's limited to that. I actually like having it on this 1022. I do have a little bit of a cheek riser, but it's not too much. I didn't need much to make that work. And it does have quite a bit of barrel gap there. That's because this objective is not huge, but it also means that the setup is a little lighter. So there's some trade-offs there. I like having the piggyback on a 1022 like this. I just feel like it's really fast. And I don't think I can do it the same speed with the scope. Let's find out. So one miss, one hit, one miss, one hit, but it's just a little shaky. You're looking through a scope and trying to find the reticle, whereas that red dot really stands out. So I can say the OSIGHT is probably a decent optic for something piggyback. Yeah, I really like this. It's cool. I like the coyote tan. Coloration is great. Doesn't seem to get a bunch of gunk when I was shooting it suppressed on a different rifle. It doesn't seem to get a bunch of gunk on there, but when it does, it's easy enough to clean off. I can get in there. I have shot it in the snow, and it didn't fill up and block the emitter horribly. Again, not so much an issue unless you drop it in the snow, then it would probably become an issue. I don't see a lot of downsides to it. I like rechargeable items. Most of the items that I use that are battery operated are now switched over to something rechargeable. And I like the cap, the hood that I can throw on there at the end of each night because it's very cold. It wears on batteries, but the battery life has been really exceptional in this. And I wouldn't be able to throw it on here without this piggyback mount from Sunway Photo. So thank you. That is so much faster. Looking through that big window, that's awesome. Quick shout out to a few other brands that helped me make this video today and put a few parts together. First of all, I'll start on this end. Thank you to Fab Defense. I really like their Wraps C as well as the Wraps S stock. These have been very convenient for me. I'm a bigger guy. They give me a lot of length of pull and adjustment features. I like them quite a bit. The chassis and the trigger, not this particular trigger, but most of the time you're going to see a Kid trigger paired with a Kid chassis. Thank you to Kid Innovations for sending this out to the channel. It's a wonderful, wonderful chassis. I really like the length, and it fits this .92 barrel really well. Speaking of the barrel in the action, thank you to Bear Creek Arsenal, who sent out their 201 for testing. This has done pretty well, and it's become very reliable, given that I'm running the right ammo. Sunway photo for the ARCA rail, as well as the mount here, and that mount designation is the SR 3033-25P. So heck of a name, but that mount actually seems pretty decent. And then lastly, I want to say thank you to Zerotech. Thank you. And lastly, I want to say thank you to Zerotech as well as OSIGHT, who sent this out, or Olight. These are really cool. And lastly, I want to say thank you to Zerotech for sending out their Vengeance here. I love the 4-16 as well as the 6-24. This is the 6-24 version. Very, very nice optic. Shot some amazing groups with this. Watch that review if you haven't caught that already. And then Olight for sending out their OSIGHT. Of course, I wouldn't be able to do this without them and make this super awesome DMR looking combination. It's probably an abomination to most of you, but hey, I'm hitting steel and I'm really enjoying it. Thank you to those sponsors who helped me get this content put out. Okay, in closing, would I recommend it? Yes, I would, and I do recommend it. I am enjoying this sight. It's not enclosed, and if you need an enclosed dot, that's not what this is. But if you're okay with an open dot, I'm really having fun with it. I think it's very unique. I think there's some parts of it that I actually like better than a standard red dot that has a 2032 per se, something like that. I like this charging cover and the fact that this can last for ages. This can last so incredibly long without a charge. It does really, really well. And I would say even on a little bit higher power settings, it does really well for those charges. And if I needed to travel and I just didn't have time to throw on the actual power cord to this, I can just come with this pre-charged, put it on top. This is going to do the trick for me, and it's going to talk to me. It's going to tell me when my sight is charged up, when the unit itself is charged, and it runs off of a USB-C, which is the way of the future. I'm so glad that they run this on a USB-C. This is more common with most electronics nowadays, and I think everything should be USB-C. I like that this combination is very small. The footprint is small, and I can use the power block on top of the sight, whether it's mounted on a pistol, and it doesn't seem to interfere. It actually worked just fine on a pistol for me. And then what I've shown you in this video on a rifle, I had no issues popping this on there. Even in my safe, I could just leave it on, and I didn't have to worry about this being connected to a wall or the sight being connected to a wall. This just pops on, and it's good to go. Again, I do recommend it. I really enjoyed it. I think it's a nice, clean looking dot on the inside there, and the ability to get quite bright, as I said, or very, very dull, and have a generous size window overall. I like the coloration. I like the footprint. I like Olight in general. And if you want to see more stuff, you should hang out, because I have a few more Olight videos coming up soon on some of their more traditional products like lights, but a new take on a few ideas that Olight has come up with. And I like what they're doing. I like their ingenuity. And I want to show you that in the next video. If you like this one, go ahead and like, share, subscribe. If you have questions about the product, let me know down in the comment section. If you have one of these, let me know what you have it mounted on and what you like about this combination and kit.